I am conservative, but I do disagree with conservatives on the issue of school choice. So my aunt, who votes Republican, she's a third grade teacher up in Michigan, and they implemented school choice, and according to her, it was a complete disaster. She was a teacher at one of the best schools in the area, and once it was implemented, there was a major overcrowding issue. Most of the kids who came in were horrible, according to her, and there was a loss of community. What are your thoughts on the issue, and are there any other policies you advocate for in regards to education?
So that's a very interesting question. I will say I don't know the specific results in Michigan, and it may be that when they implemented it in Michigan, they did it badly. So your aunt's experience, I don't doubt that she underwent that. I can tell you on the issue of school choice, it's an issue I've been involved in 25, 30 years. And I think it is the most important education issue and civil rights issue we have in this country. And let me explain why. Look, school choice is all about giving low-income kids the same ability to choose that rich and middle-class kids have always had. And I remember 20 years ago, we'd have debates about school choice, and people would say, well, if you give low-income kids the ability to get scholarships, the ability to get out of failing schools, the result will be that it'll just destroy the public schools. That is a serious argument. If that were in fact correct, I would oppose school choice. I have no interest in destroying the school system that provides the vast majority of education to kids. We now know, though, because school choice has been implemented in over 30 jurisdictions across the country, the data disprove it. That if you look at, and what I would encourage you is to spend some time studying choice. It may be the program your aunt had experience with was badly designed and poorly implemented. I can tell you more broadly, the data show that when you have choice programs, number one, the kids who exercise choice, who are in a failing school and go to another school, to another option, they have significantly better test outcomes. They have better reading scores, better math scores, better graduation rates. They get into college at a much higher rate. But number two, and this is critically important, the public school improves. Competition is good. Think about it in every other respect. Competition improves quality. And so it may be in the instance, I don't know if Michigan did a partial school choice hybrid where they may just have allowed kids in failing schools to get into the top public schools without additional competition. It may have been structured so it was designed to fail. That sometimes happens, but look, I think we ought to have an urgency when it comes to kids trapped and not able to get an education, that we ought to have an urgency that these kids now deserve a better option. And I support every option we can get them.
I'm sympathetic to the view. I agree with what Senator Cruz just said. I'm sympathetic to the observations of your aunt and perhaps of you as well. I do think the alternative that I would prefer, even to school choice, which I support, is that conservatives just take back the public schools from the libs and kick all the crazy racial and sexual theories out and raise the standards and do a lot better. I would love to be able to wield that kind of political power. You're seeing it in a handful of states, but it is worth pointing out that public education in America was from the beginning a leftist endeavor. This is not a bug of the system. It's actually a feature going back not just 20 years, but going back to John Dewey, going back to Horace Mann. This has been in there from the very beginning. And so I just fear, as a practical matter, I don't think we're going to reform the public education system merely by taking power and changing the curricula. I think we need a structural change as well, which school choice has provided, which the homeschool movement has provided, which parochial schools have always provided. And so simply as a practical matter, living in the real world in 2022, I think that is our only hope. The alternative is your 5-year-old being indoctrinated into transgenderism and critical race theory, and I don't think any of us wants that.
And I think, too, that this idea, and this is building on what Michael says, if conservatives are going to retake the public school system, the only way to do that is through school choice, because it's not just a matter of children being caught in a zip code with a failing school. It's also a way to ideologically hold each and every individual school and school district accountable. If enough parents can go to their school district or their principal and say, listen, I'm pulling my child out of this school because you are teaching critical race theory or queer theory, and not only is my child leaving the school, so is my money. If enough parents do that, then the school school has a choice. Oh, are we going to adjust our curriculum, or are we going to become a failing school? Are we going to become obsolete? So it's not just a matter of increasing educational outcomes, which is great. It's also how conservatives can rebalance the public school system.